Well, that was a great call, and we've got another caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Doug, Bill Eshenbaugh. We're here in Tampa, Florida.
Well, hello, sir. Well, we have quite a diverse group today. We've had Larry Latham from Las Vegas. We've had Ed Delgado from Dallas. J.J. Dower just called from Tennessee. And now we have Bill Eshenbaugh from Eshenbaugh Land Company, who's the CEO, CCIM. And what's your name again on the website? Because it just kills me. It's wonderful.
Oh, I have somehow worked my way into being known as the Dirt Dog, and it's just been a fun name. Makes people smile and makes them remember me. I guess some folks find Eshenbaugh a little challenging, but the Dirt Dog sticks with them. I actually get introduced now to do an occasional panel. I did one last week at a retail convention, and just the land report will be brought to you by the Dirt Dog. So
wow. So you got a handle.
I got a handle, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good. For our listeners, Bill Eshenbaugh is the man on the Tampa, the west coast of Florida in regards to land. He's a CCIM, which is the upper echelon of commercial real estate brokers. Tell us a little bit about your past, and also tell us a little bit about your involvement with the RTC.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been in the business 30-some years. Had a great opportunity to go to work for the Resolution Trust Corporation in 1990, and got assigned the sales center in Tampa with about $4 billion worth of assets in an era where we had never seen anything like that. And so we had a clean piece of paper, as we used to fondly say, that we had to come up with some strategies, understand what we had, and how we were going to sell it. And unlike today's world where each bank has their own process, it was a pretty uniform platform back in the days. So we had negotiated sales, sealed bids, and we had a really effective auction platform there as well.
Well, you did, and I had the pleasure of working for you, again, many, many years ago. Before I forget, these interviews and this show is taped and recorded and archived, actually on YouTube.com and also RowellAuctions.com. And so Bill has fantastic insights, and of course our other guests have too. So log on to that. We'll probably be on the websites later this afternoon. It's amazing technology we have, Bill, compared to what we did when we were with the RTC so many years ago. But tell me about RTC auctions. I know that we were involved with one of them. Well, actually, several of them with you. But the one I want to talk about is the one that we did for commercial property. A lot of bank buildings, if I remember, all throughout the state of Florida. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I sure do. And I think if I remember right, we did one down in Fort Lauderdale. There was just a packed house, and it was fun because you guys were a great group to work with back then, and you and Louis Fisher and your whole gang. And it was an interesting thing for me. I grew up on a farm where auctions were used on Saturday morning to sell farms. So I wasn't sure how it was going to work on commercial.
Sure.
We watched the appetite, and if you remember, we made a lot of these absolute auctions where there was no minimum, no reserve. The buyers knew we were going to sell that property that day for the highest bidder standing in the room when the auction was all done. And I remember one where we really had a nice test, if I remember correctly, Doug, where we had a number of bank branches that we made absolute. And then we had a few that we had just taken in, and the decision was made above with a line somewhere. Wow, we haven't had those on the market long enough. Let's put a reserve on those and see how we do. And I think we sold everything that night, but we did a lot better on the ones with the absolute basis to it versus the reserved ones. And I remember talking to a guy. There was a shoe company at the time that was expanding and buying branches all over the state of Florida. That guy was our best bidder. And when we saw him show up at an auction, we knew we were going to have some fun. But he would only go out and do his due diligence on those ones that were being sold with the absolute moniker to it, because he knew that if he was a high bidder, he was getting it. And he didn't know that on the ones with reserves, whether we'd even sell them or not. So he just go out and look at the 50 or 60 we had available absolute versus a dozen or 15 or 20, whatever it was that we had with reserve on them.
Well, it's very true, and just from your memory, it was a great auction, and bank buildings, of course, bring great interest. Why is that so? What do people use bank buildings for?
Well, we found a lot of users, starting with the guy that I mentioned with the shoe company
Right.
that's expanding in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
but a number of them sold pet stores, real estate brokers, insurance brokers, all kinds of people who wanted a sound structure with adequate parking at a good location. Most of them were on a corner or at a high traffic intersection, and so I remember a couple over here where real estate guys put their names on them, and man, they had a great place where their clients could walk in one level, and they were all mostly ADA compliant and so forth. So it was a good deal. I think if I remember right, that we probably got up in 85, 86, 87% of the ask price for the absolute ones, and 70-some% for the ones with reserves on them. And we had some rules in those days. They kept changing, but we could sell most things at 80% or more. If we had them on the market for a little while, maybe we had to get 80% if they'd only been on the market a month or two. But the auction got out of here. We had so much stuff. We just couldn't sit there every day and negotiate deals. I had 8 or 9 people in the sales center, and we took, amazingly, 40 and 50 phone calls a day.
Yes.
We had no emails. Maybe, thank God, we had no emails back in the days. But we faxed, I remember faxing stuff out till 11 o'clock at night on some of these auction events because we had to do them one at a time,
Right. I remember
that.
that.
One deal with you guys, we had to go scan documents on 403 properties up in New England. I bought a scanner for $2,400, and you literally watch it take about 30 seconds to go across the page, and another 30 seconds to go back, and this will be forever.
I remember those days well. Listen, tell us about your company and how can anybody that is a seller or a buyer in your marketplace, how can they contact you?
Oh, great. Good question. We're land brokers primarily. We also handle a lot of bank assets. Our base is Tampa, and our strong sphere of business is about an hour and a half of Tampa. So it gets us over toward Orlando and up in northern counties, 2 or 3 north of us here. And you can reach me at bill@thedirtdog.com, or in Tampa, we're at 813-287-8787. And we have a website, which is another one of those easy ones, www.thedirtdog.com.
You are the best. And again, folks, if you're interested in properties, commercial and land properties in the west coast of Florida, Bill Eshenbaugh is your guy. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, Bill, and hope to work with you down the road.
Well, have a wonderful weekend, and remember, it's also Arbor Day. Go plant a tree.
Take care now.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.